Thanks, Antonio. Hi, everyone. This is Arturo Madela speaking from GST, an SME located in Spain, in Santander. I will be the one in charge of acting as host, I would say, of this webinar, where we are going to provide an overview of the use cases that the MSec project comprises. So before starting, I would suggest we take a look into the contents of our webinar today. It will start with the brief description of what the MSec project really is, and then we will dig into the subtleties of the different MSec use cases. In the end, we will open the doors for our participants to present their questions if they have some of them. Let's then start talking about what MSec is. MSec is a collaborative innovation action among diverse European and Japanese partners coming from different backgrounds. And this means they are representatives of industry, SMEs, academia, municipalities. So the idea in here, first and foremost, is to strengthen the connections in the technological spheres of big data, Internet of Things, blockchain, and the cloud computing. We have as a goal to involve diverse stakeholders in our project, following different actions and trying to stick to different roles. And then we are encouraging them to work together through the example that we provide via MSec activities. This way, social entrepreneurs, researchers, businesses, public authorities, and for sure citizens across the European Union and Japan are going to be empowered to collaborate, design, and adopt new Internet of Things applications, which improve the security and connectivity of smart cities and facilitate trusted interactions between objects and people. This we will do through the execution of our use cases and their corresponding pilots. The essence and objective of these pilots is to test and validate the MSec architecture and the overall platform in real-world scenarios. This way ensuring that the technological developments performed by partners in the consortium meet the real city's needs and also allows MSec results to be exploited not only to develop, but also to offer new smart city applications and services. Going into the use case 1, we find this pilot. It's receiving the name of secure IoT devices to enrich strolls across smart city parks, and it will take place in the city of Santander, well known as a smart city since a few years back, and involved in different projects and activities that take advantage of this living lab that we have in our city and enriches and improves our daily routines as citizens of Santander. Knowing this, the main idea behind this pilot that will be conducted in Usecase 1 consists in deploying several IoT devices with different purposes, which will measure variables significant to the well-being of the city's inhabitants and even their sporadic visitors, I would say, such as noise levels and overcrowding through the sketching of, so to say, heat maps of different areas of the city where these IoT devices will be located. In this particular pilot, we will be addressing the environment of the Las Llamas Park in Santander, which is located in a privileged spot near some of our most outstanding beaches, and also really close to the university and the, well, football stadium, which is an important part of the city in European cities. In addition, it's really close to one of the two main arteries that provide access and an exit to the city center. So it will be really valuable to have increased information of this area as the one provided by our MSec IoT devices. In order to take part of the experience, users will find different QR codes scattered throughout the pilot site for them to join the experience and be able to check what our web application will offer and to evaluate whether or not they are really interested in take part of the experience or not. To do so, they will not be asked to provide sensitive personal data. So it's just a matter of providing some valid email account and a password to get access to our system. And then they will be able to access and rate the quality of the data submitted by the MSec pilot, providing this way another layer of validation to us, MSec partners. Such activity that perhaps not so easy to get with all users will be encouraged via a reward system targeting the most active users on the site. And this will be something that will be linked to the employment of blockchain techniques in this particular use case and pilot. All in all, the information provided by MSec will complement and enrich the one currently existing and will help Santander Municipality to extract valuable conclusions through the observation of diverse areas in the park. This pilot will be implemented starting August this year, 2020, and will be running till the very end of the project. During the execution of the pilot, it will evolve for sure, and we will go through different stages of its evolution that partners will get information about it periodically the moment they confirm they are interested in taking part of the experience. As I was hinting during the initial introduction to the pilot, there are different stakeholders involved in this use case 1, starting with Santander Smart City, represented by the municipality in this case, which acts as the IoT infrastructure provider. And the main interest consists in carrying out new tests in its well-known citywide living lab. This way, we will somehow enrich the urban laboratory dimension through the deployment of these new devices, whose security will be reinforced thanks to the actions that MSec partners and their technical developments are going to provide. In addition, we find in here the citizens, which will be the end users of the solution, getting information in a really simple way, valid for them to know whether, for instance, it is the proper time to go to a specific spot in the park or not. They will this way get aggregated information of the park through a new user-friendly tool. SMEs would be also considered stakeholders involved in this pilot, since the objective for us as a project is to guide them and giving them additional tools when they start thinking about potential interesting solutions, interesting actions over certain verticals in the smart city. And this way, MSec will, as I said, gives them a new way to see things and consider how to perform actions over a smart city like Santander. And in the end, the municipal services are going to act as service providers, and also they will have another layer of interest, I would say, that will consist in establishing citywide strategies depending on the data retrieved from the crowd counting devices that we're going to deploy, for instance, and even act whenever some environmental parameters go through certain thresholds and are totally unexpected. So this will require some immediate action. So through the obtention of these new reliable data sources in the shape of the IoT devices MSec provides, they will be able to establish new communication channel with citizens and new ways of new procedures, internal procedures to take action whenever they deem it necessary. Then, in order to complete the presentation of what this pilot is showing to the world, we'll give a little more details about these IoT devices I was mentioning before and the application that users and municipality service will have at their disposal to interact with the pilot. So in the one hand on the left, we found this environment monitoring IoT device, which integrates different sensors in order for it to be able to get diverse environmental measurements such as temperature, humidity, CO2, volatile organic components in the atmosphere, and also the noise levels. It will allow us to establish comparisons of measurements among diverse areas of the control environment, in this case of the Las Llamas Park, and then perhaps we can establish valid comparisons and useful ones among certain parts in the park closer to the highway and the ones closer to the university, so to say, and then we would extract some conclusions. And it will rely in NB narrowband IoT communications. Then we will also deploy these IoT devices in charge of performing crowd counting activities, which will detect, so to say, the people presence and provide an estimation in selected areas of the park. In this case, the device will be portable in order for the municipality to put it in other locations, if they consider it necessary. For instance, when in a non-pandemic world, the municipality programs some kind of concerts or summer camps and different activities during the holidays in July and August in other parts of the city. And maybe it's interesting to keep a track of the number of people attending and so on. And in this case, we will rely on cellular communications to provide this data to MSec servers. Then the information will be presented to users via a web application that we have called Biodiversity in Las Llamas, since we are trying to provide complementary information to the one already provided physically in the park, which is related to the flora and animals that you can find when going for a stroll down there. So we will try to get real users interaction, and along with this information that I was mentioning, as you can see in the picture, we will also provide a reference of the environmental and crowd counting data that we're registering with IoT devices. All in all, respecting GDPR completely and being compliant with these rules. And then just to finish the presentation related to use case 1 and going into more technical details, we offer here how we are framed into the overall MSec architecture, so to say. As you can see here in the lower layer, the so-called IoT layer, we find both IoT devices, the environmental and crowd counting ones, and they are allocated in this devices functional group, as we have called it, that take advantage of the increased security that this physical component that we have called secure component for devices is providing. In this case, they will be some hardware items that will complement the IoT devices, increasing their security. This way, making sure that data we are sending to the world is properly protected and will not suffer from external tweaks and interferences. Then we will go into the next layer, going up, the one that we call the middleware layer. Then the data coming from the devices is transferred to a server through this core component that we have called the SenseKNAT platform. Afterwards, we will reach the cloud layer, where on the one hand, we will have these extra tools in charge of performing additional analysis and visualization in order for end users to better understand what is happening and what this data we are receiving from the IoT devices means. And then the final results are shown through an application to the citizens. Both historical and real-time data can be offered. The environmental data and privacy sensitive information stored in the server and encrypted and secure through the crypto companion database can be also found in the cloud layer. This way we're assuring that we are able to provide a secure and trusted storage. And as I was mentioning before, we are also using blockchain, not only when trying to encourage users to be part of the experience, but also we are coupling the storage assets with blockchain and the corresponding middleware where the devices have been registered. This way, it's possible for interactions on this data level to be stored in the blockchain and be shared, for instance, with other smart cities through the IoT marketplace, which is the basis of other of our use cases that you will get to know later on during our webinar, which in the end, presenting it briefly, exposes the services of these sensors and the corresponding datasets. In the end, Trust on our engine can receive feedback from our end users through the marketplace or even through the app. And this will help to establish a rank for the data sources based on the trust deposited on them. This security management tool provides the end-to-end security that, as you see on the right part of the architecture, is considered as another layer that comprises the 4 other ones. So that would be all regarding use case 1. And then I will give the floor to my colleague, Vanessa, who will be in charge of presenting to you use case 2.
Thank you, Arturo. So for use case 2, as you can see, the name of the pilot is the Home Monitoring Security System for Asian people. This pilot is carried out in Santander City and intends to face the main challenge of the rapid increase of elderly population, caused mainly by the increase of life expectancy due to medical, social, and economic advances. So aging people may feel isolated due to the lack of close family ties or the result of living alone. Additionally, many aging citizens live with a constant fear of falling or becoming unwell without being detected or helped by others for a long time. Therefore, Worldline, as European coordinator of MSec, but also the owner of this solution, provides a dashboard, which is connected care, that already covers some of the issues related to the well-being and the safety at home. So the pilot is going to focus on home activity monitoring through the use of sensors such as presence sensors, bed occupancy sensor, window door open sensor, and smart plugs. This pilot has the aim to digitalize some of the current analogic-based solution that the teleassistant service who will test this solution has currently. And it's a collaboration also with the Social Services Department of the Santander City municipality. So the platform provides different, as you can see here, different option functionalities. We have user management section where to create users and add all the information. We have a live dashboard where the teleoperators can see all the alarms that have been activated, even also the latest activity from the users, from data coming from these home sensors. We have also a patient user management where we can manage user data, device assignments, alarms assignments, and so on. And we have also device management with all the information coming from the device in terms of the status of its connectivity, battery. And finally, we have the option to configure also different kind of alarms based on the situation of the users. So next slide, please. So here we have the overview of the stakeholders that are involved from this pilot. We have aging people as the end users of the solution who will test this pilot with several sensors deployed at their home. We have also optionally the possibility that their network, the closer network, caregivers like relatives or so on, can join to this pilot by receiving and being up to date to any alarm that can be activated from these users, obviously with the consent of the end users. As another stakeholder, we have the teleassistant provider who will be in charge of monitoring all the activity from their users that are join that in their service of the teleassistance. We have also the collaboration of the municipality, who is the dynamizer and the one who established this collaboration between Worldline as the provider of the solution and the teleassistance as the service provider. And of course, we have IoT providers as stakeholders, who are the ones who can provide these home sensors. In this case, we have a collaboration with Kabur, which is a company focused on this development of these home sensors devices. Next slide. So here we have a better view of what are the different elements that integrates this solution. As I explained before, we have the connected care portal, which provides the different functionalities, the setup of the alerts and related to the different users. We have the user management, the part of the device management, but also the dashboard to monitor every activity coming from the users and any alarm that has been activated. The different sensors to be used are the door window open sensor, which can be placed either in doors from home or in the fridge door, in the bathroom door, so we can monitor if there is an unusual activity from the user. We have the bed sensor occupancy, which monitors either if the user has wake up, for example, in the morning, it's a daily routine, or if not, something happens. We have the motion sensor that can also be placed either in bathrooms, living room, anywhere to monitor the activity of the user. And we have also the smart plug, which monitors the activity of a specific device. For example, it could be connected to the coffee machine, or for example, it could be connected to the TV. All of these, the result is to set up different alarms and to activate the protocol in case that there is alarm activated, and check that the status of the user is okay or not. And the next slide. Okay, so the main objective with testing this pilot, as Arturo mentioned before, it's to test the MSec architecture. So to improve data security and integrity of this use case with different components to provide this end-to-end security approach. So we can see here that we have we have the devices that are the Kabur home monitoring devices, which are connected with the Eclipse sensing NAT. The Eclipse sensing NAT, what provides is a granularity for access control mechanism to allow only authorized users to access to the raw data that are generated by these devices. The Eclipse sensing NAT is connected actually with the Worldline server, which is in the same site connected to the crypto companion database and the Quorum blockchain. With these two components, what we intend is to save all the sensitive data, since this use case obviously involves a high level of sensitive data coming from all the data generated by home sensors, which will be used by malicious actors, by encrypting all this sensitive data linked with a hash coming from the blockchain. The hash is created and stored in the crypto companion database. And the main use of this is to validate tamper-proof, so the data has not been modified, and that the reliability of the data is secure to be transferred to the Worldline Connected Care, which is the dashboard where the teleoperators can monitor all the data. Additionally, anonymized data, which is not sensitive, like for example, raw data, but not the ID of the device itself, and not any personal data coming from the user in terms of name, address, or age, is transferred to the IoT marketplace. to facilitate the exchange of valuable information. For example, in terms of a sensor which monitors the temperature of the user homes, all this data can be aggregated and be used by, for example, air conditioner companies who wants to validate how many of the Asian users have installed air conditioner or not, and establish different promotional campaigns to sell air conditioners. For instance, this will be an example. Another example will be the activity coming from the TV with the smart plug, which will serve, for example, to know in which time frames Asian citizens watch most the TV. This is also linked to a trust and reputation model to validate that all the content placed in the marketplace is trustworthy. So users, data consumers are sure to buy this data. And finally, we have the security management tool, which in this case provides the end-to-end approach, the end-to-end security by providing authentication and counting and availability to all the components that are integrated within this use case. So thank you very much.
Thank you for the presentation, Vanessa. Then now it's time we go to one of the use cases coming from our Japanese partners. So Akira will be in charge of presenting them, starting with use case 3. So Akira, please.
Okay, thank you, Arturo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. My name is Akira Tsuge from Keio University, Japan. I'd like to explain about use case 3. This is a secure and trustworthy mobile sensing platform. Basically, Keio University have been developing the platform for smart city. You can see the right-hand side, especially the center of the right-hand side. I'm sorry, there are a lot of pictures. Basically, this is the original Keio smart home platform. And center of this platform, we have a matching core called Soxfire. This is original from the Keio University. And also left-hand side, you can see the 3 pictures. This is the input side, so data collection. So for example, we can use open data and of course IoT sensing data. And also we can use data from human using the smartphone. So and this use case basically focusing the mobile sensing platform. So you can see the middle, you can see garbage truck pictures. And top of this picture, you can see the garbage truck rooftop. We installed some sensor box on the garbage truck rooftop. Because if we need some kind of sensor data from the everywhere in the city, we should install the many sensors. So we use garbage truck because garbage truck is moving the whole of the entire city area every day. So we can receive the sensor data from the garbage truck every day to the Soxfire. This is one point of this mobile sensing platform. And also we have some application for analytics. This is you can see the right-hand side, some analytic tools. This is our basic technology as a smart city platform. In this project, especially in this use case, we integrate some secure solution from this project partners, and also we have some solution. So you can see the bottom line, left-hand side. This is some analytic tool using the deep learning technique, automatically counting the garbage. So we can analyze how much garbage gathered in which area, something like that. And also you can see the right-hand side. This is a secure solution from MSec project partners. So we integrate original platform, smart city platform, KO platform, and some secure solution. By using this total integration, we can provide a secure and trustworthy mobile sensing platform. This is a main point of use case 3. Next, please. Basically, Keio University have been working with Fujisawa City. Fujisawa City is located south area of Tokyo. So, of course, sorry, and also our campus located in Fujisawa City. So we have been collaborating with Fujisawa City several years, and making the mobile sensing platform I explained before. Okay, next please. I'd like to explain some solution of the this secure mobile sensing platform. You can see the left-hand side. This figure is a secure SOX fire. So this is a core architecture, core solution in our smart city platform. Please, one more click, please. Yes, you can see the center of this figure. This is a SOX fire. And also, of course, there are some people have interesting, they have interesting data. This is a data provider side. And right-hand side, there is some demand side. There are some people with what kind of data. So we can match the provider side and demand side by using the SOXFire sensor network core software. This is our original SOXFire, and we integrate the secure solution from the MSec partners. So we can integrate and secure SOXFire. This is the name from the this reason. And also, you can find the right-hand side Ganonymizer. This is something like a solution of protect privacy. You can find 8 pictures. 8 pictures consist of the 4 pairs. And upper side is 4 original picture, and lower side is erased the privacy data from the original picture. I'm sorry, a little bit small picture, so I'm sorry, you can find. You can see the original pictures. There are some car or people walking, something like that. But we can erase automatically by using the deep learning technique. We can output the bottom line picture example. So we can erase the privacy related object automatically. So we can integrate this de-anonymizer to the mobile sensing platform in use case 3. So we can provide secure data exchange and privacy protection solution. So as a result, we can provide a secure mobile sensing platform. This is a use case 3. Next, please. And this is from the MSec total architecture. And I'd like to explain a little bit, especially the characteristic for this use case. Next, please. Yes, this is I explained KO server. This is basically gathering the several data, city data, including the mobile sensing platform or participatory sensing like a smartphone data or open data or something like that. And based on the, next please. Sorry, this is, so before second one, KO server is based on the little bit lower layer. You can see the secure SOX file. So based on the secure SOX file, we can provide the secure smart city platform by KO server, exchange several data. And also, second point is de-anonymizer. This is, I explained the previous slide. We can automatically remove the privacy data from the video data. So we integrate this kind of the solution, and also some data exchanging part. We use some security tool solutions from partners. Next, please. Okay. Yes. This is a secure mobile sensing platform, and yes, and the deep counter. Deep counter is I mentioned before, automatically counting the garbage, how many garbage collected, something like that. This is also using the deep learning technique. So we integrate this kind of the solution and also including the secure solution, privacy protection solution with original Soxfire-based KO Smart City platform. We use this environment and we'd like to have a pilot in the Fuisa city by using this platform. This is a use case 3. Okay. Next, please. And next one is a use case 4. This is a little bit focusing using the smartphone. As I mentioned in use case 3, our platform can use not only IoT sensor data, but also sensing data from the smartphone. We call this kind of tool is participatory sensing. So, and we have some participatory sensing smartphone application, and this is one of our participatory sensing smartphone application. You can see the right-hand side. I will use next slide. So we use this application. We can exchange some interesting data between the citizens. So we apply firstly in the Fujisawa city in Japan area, and also we are planning to expand the horizontal sharing globally. So we sharing the Santander citizen and Fujisawa citizen, sharing some kind of information. And we, of course, this should be secure and privacy protected environment. So this is a use case 4's main point. Next slide, please. So stakeholders, including Fujisawa City and Santander City, and both citizens. So the challenge is how we can provide a secure and privacy protected environment. Under this environment, each citizen can use this platform or solution. This is a point of the use case 4. Okay, next please. This is a explanation of the smart city report. This is a smartphone application for this use case. So of course, this smartphone application working based on the previous I explained KO smart city platform. So based on this platform, this smartphone application, user can, using this smart city report, user can take the photo using the inside camera and outside camera. So some picture and himself. So we can take this kind of picture and exchanging the some group, same interested groups. So exchanging some information. For example, some restaurant information, or some sightseeing information, or some city event, or something like that. So user can exchange some this kind of data with under the secure and privacy protected environment. This is the point. And also we, as I mentioned, our challenge is we apply the Santander city and Fujisawa city with a secure and privacy protected environment. So this is a use case for main point. Next, please. And the same as other use case, this is based on the MSec architecture. And smartphone, this is a smartphone application. So application layer solution. So this application is one of the main component. And of course, as I mentioned, this is a this capability is provided by basically the cloud layer and the middleware layer. You can see the KO Smart City platform based on the Soxfire or anonymizer for preventing the privacy data or something like that. So, next please. Okay. So, sorry, this is an explanation of the secure Soxfire. Okay, next please. So, that's okay. That's okay. Okay.
Many thanks,
Thank
Akira, for presenting both use cases 3 and 4. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Then we are going to the 5th and last use case for us, which is also, as it is the case for use case 4, a cross-border one that we have called Smart City Data Marketplace with secure multi-layer technologies. Just to provide kind of the scope that encourage us to shape this kind of demonstrator, this use case. We notice the demand for foreign business is increasing all over the world. Business opportunities are expected in a variety of situations. And in such current circumstances, the matter of data distribution between countries and even continents needs to take place safely and smoothly to make this data effective enough to contribute in building, so to say, smart cities like the ones involved in this project and the ones that we look forward to. So on the other hand, it's also a fact that cyber attacks are becoming increasingly complicated and sophisticated. Therefore, the provision of a secure data distribution method between countries is an essential task for these smart cities. Having this in mind, Pilot 5.1, which will be carried out in both Fujisawa and Santander, has the ambition of constructing a marketplace between the European Union and Japan, where data integrity is present and tamper-proof data can be securely distributed through the employment of secure multi-layer technologies. This way, ensuring confidentiality, integrity, and availability, and also the privacy of data following both GDPR in European Union and PIPA regulation in Japan, so that people or organizations in both sides can utilize this data more effectively. The stakeholders in this particular case are the ones that we have depicted in this picture. As you can see, we are involving a lot of different ones, but always aligned with what we have already presented in the previous use cases. We are talking about citizens in both smart cities, Santander and Fujisawa, and they will act as data providers and buyers. It's a twofold contribution. For instance, if we talk about their relationship with the use case 4, they will be sharing their photos and reactions. Both smart cities, which will be the infrastructure providers, so to say, will also act as data providers and buyers to our marketplace. We want also to involve universities and research institutions, and we have kind of a plan for them to also act as data providers and buyers. We need to get them involved, not only the ones in the consortium, but also external to MSec. And for sure, companies, we think will find our IoT marketplace as a really nice and useful sharing point for them to provide data and act as buyers of this data, having in mind the kind of businesses they could conduct using this data for their very own purposes. As for the architecture, well, we are providing in here the analytical global MSec architecture view, since the IoT marketplace will involve all the layers that we have been presenting, and somehow it will also involve all the different assets, functional groups, and so on that we have been presenting in the different use cases. And it's worth noting that in this first stage of execution, the IoT marketplace will be initially fed by data generated in other use cases, which we can find in the applications functional group in the application layer on top of the architecture. Starting from this point, we will fed the marketplace with other sources, like the ones coming from these stakeholders we want to involve in the execution of the pilot, as I was saying just before. So this will summarize our 5 use cases. So it's time for you to go ahead, and if you want to know more, please let us know and drop a question. We will be glad to receive and answer them. If not, please, just a reminder that in the next few days, we will put this webinar, its recording, available in our website and accessible by our social media. So please don't hesitate to go back to us later on using our channels if you notice something in our presentation that you would like to know more about or clarify. So please be aware that we are more than glad to receive your opinions, comments, and feedback in order for us to improve and provide you as our end users a much better experience. Thanks a lot for taking part of this webinar. Well, let's meet in the future when our use cases and pilots are running, and hopefully you are taking part of them.